And for more analysis of the markets, I'm being joined now by an investment analyst at AfriInvest, Eremosele Aziba. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, what would you say were the major drivers of the market in Thursday's trading?
So what we recorded yesterday was the market rebounding from the loss that was recorded on Wednesday, as investors started continuing to take position in market bellwethers. We saw significant interest in stocks like Stanbic, IBTC, following the impressive result that they released for the Q1 period. We also saw investors take advantage of Guarantee, as well as some other Tier 1 banks that also released their Q1 results yesterday. So the general positive performance that we've seen from some of the companies that have released results, especially the banks, has been the major driver of the positive sentiment that we've seen. But on the other hand, you might want to attribute some of the gains that we're currently recording to the launch of the new investors and exporters FX window by the CBN, given that it's supposed to cater for portfolio investors who might want to come in or exit. So in anticipation of increased participation from foreign players, we might see some domestic participants actually take position ahead of this. So this is another factor that could potentially have contributed to the positive performance that we've seen.
All right, talking about the companies that sent in their earnings, quite a number of them came in yesterday. What do you make of these earnings? Can you talk us through them?
Yes, so we've seen for the Tier 1 banks that have released yesterday, we saw UBA, we saw Access, we also saw GT Bank release their result 2 days ago. Generally, ETI also released their result. Generally, it's been broadly positive, showing the resilience of these Nigerian banks, despite all the challenges that we're facing in the economy. They're still churning out these good numbers. We know their full year 2016 results was majorly boosted by non-interest income line, which is broadly tied to FX revaluation gains. But looking at their current results, we've seen growth in even their core operations. So in terms of interest income, we've also seen this grow across board. So this is one major factor that has continued to add to this positive results that we've seen. We also saw some Tier 2 banks release their results. You mentioned earlier Diamond Bank releasing their Q1 2017 result. Had a decline in PAT, even though they recorded a growth in their revenue, but there was a massive dip in their non-interest income, which was broadly tied to the reduction in their trading income, and this was what affected their results. For First Bank, we still saw the major challenge which the bank has been facing, which is broadly tied to risk management. We saw the high impairment charges continue to drag the performance of the result. But in a broad view of most of the results that have come out, it's been generally positive. And this is a testament to the resilience of most of these Nigerian companies.
Now, you've talked majorly on the banks. What about the stocks in the industrial sector? The oil and gas. O&O came out yesterday. We had also Mobil, that was on Wednesday, and Total.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so majorly, if you remember last year when we had the the partial deregulation of the downstream sector, we saw how it majorly boosted revenues of some of these companies. So we've seen this continue even up to this period. For O&O, even though we had a decline in their PAT compared to the same period last year, the company is currently turning a new leaf. I mean, we're recording losses in the previous year, so they've sold down on some of their assets to try and shore up their performance, and we can see that they're re-strategizing to ensure that they return to a path of growth. And yesterday we even saw investors actually take position in Oando in the market.
Now, as an investment analyst, what is your recommendations, looking at the performance of these companies churning out their results, your recommendations in terms of buy or sell or hold?
Well, so currently our major stocks that we would recommend for any investors who want to take position will be in the tier one banks, so the likes of the Guaranty Trust Bank. We have Zenith, Access, UBA. These have demonstrated their resilience to the challenges in the economy, consistently churning out positive results, sustain their dividend payment history, and even for capital gains, for investors who are interested in just capital gains, we have a buy recommendation on these stocks for that sector.
All right, thank you very much, Eromo Sele.
Thank you for having me.
Right, Eromo Sele Azeba is an investment analyst with Afri Invest.